What's the best way to cook a steak? What's it like to start a business during the pandemic? What's the deal with keto? Hi, I'm Dave, and along with my partners from Forefathers Food Co., we'll host a weekly podcast called Kitchen Mix. Each week, along with some great knowledgeable guests, we'll chat about the topics related to food, small business, nutrition, and many others. At the end of each episode, we'll share a delicious recipe, details to what we drank, and a cool DJ set. Stevie, great to see you tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Kitchen Mix podcast. Episode 4, we're featuring a fantastic friend of ours, a close friend of the family, and a business mentor for a lot of companies, as well as ours. We've used Stevie talking about business and so forth. And my co-host tonight is John Pontoni, one of the Forefathers partners of our hot sauce business. And tonight we're just going to talk about Steve Johnston, who is part of Castle, who's the chairman of the board for Castle Kitchens. It's a company that is an all natural. I'm going to let Stevie talk about it because I'll probably say something wrong. But Stevie, thanks for coming on board today and joining us in the podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here again.
Exactly. Again, you were here on my podcast maybe, a couple years ago or something like that.
Was it a year?
It must have been.
I think it
was a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, it was. We're actually recording this tonight because we did go live, and as we're doing our spiel talking about it, the friggin' internet goes
down.
haywire. It's down. Like
Rogers.
Thank you, Rogers.
COVID.
This is bullshit because you and everyone else around my neighborhood has gone down, and like it's like the timing can't be any perfect. We're talking about stuff, and all of a sudden, boom, it's going dead, and it's down, and we look like idiots. But it's okay.
But the good news is
What's
that
that?
this is part of life. This is exactly when you start a small
Absolutely.
business and you grow. These are the things that come out of left field that you have no idea. So
Right. And it happens.
Kind of apropos.
It happens, and we just smile and say, you know what? Forget it, man. Just
pivot.
Go on. Pivot. You use that word too. Everyone uses that word pivot. Everyone's used the word pivot. Tonight we're in the studio tonight, and we are supposed to be live, but we're not. But we're going to air this. We're going to air this probably tomorrow, the next day. I'll find out when. We can scoot this online and get this to you guys, especially on our podcast. You can subscribe to Spotify and on Google Podcasts. We're all there as well. Now we have our own YouTube channel, so the video of this podcast will be all up on our YouTube channel. Just search Forefathers Food Co. or search The Kitchen Mix Podcast. You'll find us on there. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and follow us and all the events that we're going to have. Our live events will be, our cooking shows. It'll all be on there. Super exciting. We're all about food, music, business, friendship, family. We're all about that. So I appreciate you guys coming on and staying on board tonight. And Stevie, just give us a little brief history or brief of what Castle Kitchens is all about.
Sure. So it was probably back in 2012. I was working with Matt and Steve. Those people that drink Caesars would know them from their extreme beans. Those go into Bloody Caesars. And a friend of mine at the time, who I've known back in the days when I was working at Perrier, him and I met at Tim Hortons and said, I got this great idea. I want to launch an all-natural, healthy pancake and a unique dark chocolate, hot chocolate brand. And I said to him at the time, I'll never forget it, I said, good luck with that. I hope you do well, because I wasn't really back in the day following the natural health trends and protein and plant-based. And anyway, as I would do with anybody, a good friend of mine, I said, look, here's some things that you need to think about. Here's what I would do with my background in consumer packaged goods. So we stayed in contact for a period of time as I was working for Matt and Steve's, and he actually got the brand up and running and got co-packers and got listed and started selling products to Whole Foods and showed me sales reports, and I was like, wow, this stuff actually sells. Like, people are buying this. So it was a bit of a surprise, to be honest with you. But it was it's always been for me wanting to invest and start into a startup small business when you've had the opportunity to work for two pretty cool guys, Matt and Steve, with the Extreme Beans. So it was, for me, it was great to be able to do something on my own, which we started. So yeah.
And then basically on the, so you have you get into Castle Kitchens. You know, how many partners? There was just one partner.
Just my buddy of mine who I've known back in the day at Perrier. I actually met him when I worked at Perrier when we did the Molson Indy, which was before I even got married. So that was in the mid 90s, I think. On. And we just always stayed in contact, right? So I guess he trusted me and said, I've got this idea and I want you to partner with me, and I think you and I can help scale it. So
the way that the product works is that you have a pancake and muffin mix, and you have a hot chocolate line.
Yeah, so we have two lines. We have actually three products. We have all natural pancake and waffle mixes, and then we have a kids mix, which is a healthy version of Nestle, and then we have three different hot chocolates, dark hot chocolates that are vegan, non-GMO. We spent money on the non-GMO certification.
So all plant-based.
All plant-based, all gluten-free, all dairy-free, all targeted at what my business partner thought 8 years ago, which would be a growing trend, which, you know, to his chagrin, it actually was. So I give him credit for coming up with the idea and me coming up with the way to how to scale it. Right. So the yin and yang worked really well.
And we're actually going to give away a complete prize pack.
Yeah, we're going to give away our hot chocolates, our three dark hot chocolates, double Dutch mint and caramel. We have a new one that we've just launched, which is a sugar-free hot chocolate, which is made with stevia extract and flavored with monk fruit, which is big for those people that are diabetic. And so they'll get a chance to try all of our products, whether you're a consumer of them or you know someone that has dietary restrictions. And you know, that was really the impetus for what my business partner wanted to create. The whole focus around Castle Kitchen was allowing everyone to be welcomed at your own castle, at your own kitchen. So whether you have dietary restrictions, whether you're celiac, which I am, or whether you have dairy or what have you, everyone's welcome at the table. So everything that we create, wanted to make sure that, you know, there'd be no issues at all for anybody have any restrictions as far as what they wanted.
Well, you're the chairman of the board of the company, so you basically oversee you go to the meetings once a month or monthly meetings or weekly meetings, whatever. But you know, your other main focus, the cannabis industry. Okay. And for those who we did not put together a prize pack for a 10-pound bag of weed. And
I'm Dutch. It's perfect. It's like pancakes and cannabis. It's like
or
those
edibles.
Are the two other than that, and legalized prostitution. Those are the things that Dutch people are known for. So I don't have the legalized prostitution, but we have the cannabis and we have the pancakes. So
that's
smoking a pancake, bonging a blitz, right? Isn't that what Mike Myers did?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey?
If we could do that, maybe next time you're back in the show.
You can. It's just it's not legal.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, no, for sure. I just to back up a little bit. So back in 2017, I think it was, when I was let go from my corporate job, I went full boot into Castle Kitchens for 2 years, like dedicated 8 hours a day, and invested in it, and really with no return at all, like just pouring more money into this business. I pivoted back in 2019 after 2 years of spending time in there, because you need to get a job to money to get into cannabis. And I just find for me personally, Canada being the first, I think G7 country that federally legalized cannabis. I'm a big believer in it from a more health and wellness medical perspective. I mean, my dad, when he was alive, would use it for his knee topicals. My mom actually still to this day uses CBD to sleep at night. So I think that this plant, which is really known for getting high, is got way more applications for health and wellness and personal care. So I joined a company a couple of years ago, and that company unfortunately didn't do so well, and they went through some tough times. But I currently do some consulting for Valens, which is a huge company in Kelowna, BC, and they do a ton of work around product development and so forth. So it's been fun, because as you get older, you try to get yourself involved in other industries that give you a little bit of pump, excitement every day, versus doing the same thing. So it's been great. Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, like you've always been involved in businesses, building them. and then have the opportunity to build them successfully, and then you like to move on and try something else or do something else, or get hired to do something else. And we talked about this offline. It's like, someone who a business person who is jumping jobs, let's say, okay, corporately, is like an entrepreneur. Like, you have that entrepreneurness in your blood. So like, it's not about you just doing the job and getting tired of it and then saying, screw it, I'm going to be gone, I'm going to another job. It's not about that. It's like, you've got this entrepreneur mentality in your head to take a business from this to this. And once you're happy about that, then you're like, you know what? I like to think about something else or do something else.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think I'm more of an intrapreneur. I think entrepreneurs, and my business partner at the time at Castle, who kind of runs the company day to day, an entrepreneur is for me that enjoys the race, enjoys the game. It's not about being a millionaire. It's enjoying, I want to do things on my own time, at my own pace, and no one's going to report into me. So I find entrepreneurs that I've met, and you look at entrepreneurs that are very successful and goes, I want to be an entrepreneur because that person's a millionaire. Well, that person that started that business back in the day didn't do it to be a millionaire. They did it because they actually wanted to control their life and do things on their own. So I look at, for me personally, other than my friends and my wife and my family who I don't want to change, I just like different types of businesses because I'm a very curious person that likes to just learn different things and get involved in things and take the skills and experience that I've had and try to help people, in their businesses, whether it's personally or professionally.
Sure. I mean, but it is kind of tough because we're all getting up there in age, and I don't know when there is a prime time to do this, whether it's going to be in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, doesn't really matter. You're obviously having fun doing it because you enjoy it.
Oh, for sure. But I think at the end of the day, when you realize as you get older that time isn't on your side, not to be negative, but I think that you do have a different philosophy, at least my business partner at the time and I do, as we get older, to say the grind becomes more difficult as you get older. But if you're in your 20s and your 30s, when you don't have any debt, you don't have any kids, you're not doing that. It's like,
we think differently in some things.
We spent 4 years ago a lot of money in our business, and most people back when you're in your 50s would never invest what we invested in. But at the end of the day, I tell my kids this, you can't have any regrets in life, right? You can't look back and go, oh, I wish I had done that. And everything has a degree as far as what you spend money on and what you do. But you don't want to look back and go, shit, I never did that. I wish I had done that. And again, everything becomes to a degree as far as what you can and cannot do. So I chose for 2 years to not take a salary and do Castle Kitchen for 2 years. People's like, holy shit, like, you're not pulling any money. I go, nope. How'd you live? I go, well, I took my severance package and I stretched it out. And then I went, okay, now I got to go find a job because I need money. But I say that because most people won't be transparent with that. Right? And I'm telling you, at the end of the day, if you really have something that you want to do, and Jim Carrey says it's better failing at something that you want to do than to stick to something that you don't want to do. And his dad got fired when he was an accountant and so forth. So again, it's, I was like, well, you don't understand my situation. I'm like, yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, my philosophy is you don't want to have any regrets in life. Right?
You don't want to have regrets in your life.
No, I tell that to my oldest son, Matthew, wants to go to music school. I said, go. Do it. But no one will force you. Like, don't do that. Go get a job, like go get married and have kids. It's like, well, that may not make him happy. Right? So
it is a life lesson, that's for sure. I mean, teaching our kids on what they want to do and learning from you. But I like the fact that you've gone from a food industry to the cannabis industry. Now, is that something you chose that direction to go in?
I honestly got tired of working in corporate, to be transparent, right? I just got to a point in my career just to say, I don't enjoy doing this anymore. I'm 50 years old, and my wife and I made a significant change in our lifestyle. Just to say, she had a blood clot 3 years ago. I just like going, all these things that happen in my
yeah.
life. I'm like going, what are we doing?
Right.
I could go back to the corporate grind. I could go get a VP job. But like, stop. At the end of the day, you have these moments in life that punch you in the face.
Yeah.
That go, what do you want to do? And that honestly was the impetus for me to go into Castle, to do the things that I wanted to do. And look, at the end of the day, you can only connect the dots looking backwards, as Steve Jobs said. So I don't know the decisions that I've made are going to be the right ones. I'll only tell you that in 5 years from now. But at the end of the day, one of the things I can say is that I have zero regrets in anything that I've done professionally in my life. And that, to me, you can drop the mic on.
Good attitude, man. That's awesome attitude. Drop the mic.
I was like, hey,
Boom.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So listening to your journey, I mean, we know, I'm talking personally, we know, but your journey through business, corporate, entrepreneur, where do you see what you've learned? Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? What would be ideal for you to, what's your next accomplishment?
For me, no, it's a great question. For me, I've been involved in B2B with Grand and Toy, worked at Molson Coors for 7 years, worked in the US, worked with Matt and Steve, which was an amazing experience for me, learning to be an entrepreneur, kind of, Nestle and CPG. And I think for me to be able to do the things I want to do at the times that I want to do them, in industries that I'm passionate about, right? So it would be in the health and wellness area, because I'm a big believer in those products.
Right.
Cannabis, for sure. I believe there's a huge opportunity in Canada around health and wellness and personal care.
Right.
And if I could invest my time in helping companies with my experience and knowledge, and again, everybody has different levels of experience and knowledge, helping them navigate through a lot of the different challenges that I know they're going to navigate and deal with, to make them successful on an ongoing basis, that to me would be satisfying, and not from a financial perspective, but more from a I enjoy doing it. Right. So the coaching, the developing, and the challenging, and the encouragement based upon the experiences that I have, which are, kind of limited in scope, but some people say they're not, depending upon what you want to do. So cannabis for sure is very interesting to me. And then the health and wellness, natural food products for brands like what you guys are doing with Four Fathers. I think it's amazing that most people don't compliment and recognize the attempt, right? You know what I mean? They wait for the result. I'm applaud the attempts, right? Most people, and then once you become successful, like, oh yeah, I was always behind you guys, right? But most people won't put themselves out there because they're afraid of failure. Right. I think that's only the way you learn.
Failure is the only way to learn.
Oh, when we Castle Kitchen in the U.S., we launched into the States. We spent, lots of money, lost it all, retrenched, got a reseller to sell it. I mean, the business has gone through, like, days are going, holy shit, do we shut the doors? And all of a sudden, oh my God, do we buy a new house? I'm joking.
Right.
But
no, you're not.
You go through these, I saw this one, you go through these peaks and valleys, but if you don't enjoy or understand that you're going to do that, don't get involved in a small business because you have to enjoy the ups and downs. And it's very different if you come from corporate, where you get a consistent job, you get a salary. And it's not for everybody.
No, it's not. It is definitely not. No.
Right.
It is not different. And that was a good question, John. It is difficult to get involved. Like, if you don't know the whole procedure or the policies, you're not going to learn it just like that. Okay. No. You being in the corporate world, just like the way we have our partnership in our business, we all have a level of understanding of what we've been through and what we know in our experience. And to do it as a one person, we talk about this, it's impossible, right? So when you said to us before, it's like, you know what? We can't do it together. We need to find out, how does this person do it? Let's call around. Let's see, because for you and your partner to say to yourself, okay, how are we going to solve this? You could be beating yourselves in the head because you may not know.
Well,
you ask somebody else.
I think the good news for my business partner and I believe in this, we know what we know. We know what our experiences are. And
Right.
I'm always reaching out to people
Right.
in areas where I know I don't have the experience, right? So
That's where I was going with that.
constantly networking, connecting, who
Right.
do you know? So don't try to think you can boil the ocean and solve everything on
no,
your
it's
own.
impossible.
And I think part of it for men, it's a bit of an insecurity to say, I don't know something.
Right.
I know everything. I can do everything.
Yeah.
And reality is you get way more respect from people when you reach out to them. And then you realize how gratifying it is that they give back to you.
Yeah.
Right. And more that you learn.
Exactly.
And what we're finding is, just starting off on this journey being new, is that it's amazing how many people are willing to help and give you advice. You don't have to take it, but it's just the knowledge that their experiences that they're sharing with you,
Sure.
that you are able to choose and say, you know what, I think that'll work. No, maybe not that one, but
Or maybe a little piece of that
or
one
little
might work,
pieces of
you know,
it. But
for
it's-
sure.
It's amazing to see the support that people
Oh, it's
are willing to
amazing.
give.
yeah.
It is it's a positive journey for us. I mean,
Even to
you
this
know.
day, in the last month, I've had 4 conversations as the chairman of the board of Castle as we're looking for other options in our business, where I have 4 to 5 mentors that are, ex-president, CEO of Molson Coors,
Right.
senior executive at Cara Food Swisha, like people that I've known that I've
Wow.
kept in contact with,
For sure.
that I can reach out to, because
Yeah.
they've actually validated my thinking, they've challenged my thinking, and they've also got me to think differently. So I sit
Interesting.
back and I go, wow, like even after this week, I'm going, interesting. So
Yeah.
now that I've got a different perspective, I feel more confident as I'm having discussions on potential things that I didn't, because sometimes when you just spend all your time with your business, all you realize and agree is on what that person's saying
Right.
to you.
Right.
And sometimes that can be negative because you get potentially it's squirrel. Okay, well that person says that, let's go that, or let's go over here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But as starting up a business, you have to be true to who you are. You have to be clear on exactly what your priorities are and what your philosophy is on what you're doing. And once that's grounded, every decision that you make as a business, you put through that filter.
Right.
And you call the bullshit test. Well, why are you doing that? No, we didn't agree with that.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, then you're
Right.
going to start driving each other crazy.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And speaking of driving each other crazy, we've been around the block a few times, and our kids, which they grew up together, and even like our 3 of us here, our kids all grew up together, and hockey was a big thing in our of our passion, right? And you, Mr. Johnston, obviously was a coach.
Shit hockey player.
Well, I don't know, man. You did undress me one time on playing hockey, but then you almost killed me by swinging a stick over my head. But anyways, this guy here was an awesome coach, fantastic mentor with the kids, and that's what I learned from this guy here when I got into hockey coaching, and same with John as well. Being he was the only winning GM of his.
No, he was. Johnny.
That's what I'm saying. John was a winning GM of his hockey team, of Steve's hockey team, and we've known each other. I don't know how long, many years. Okay, and our kids have, and you were always. You start. It's great to see the kids. You started off at what age group? Like 11, 12 years old, even younger.
Actually, I started. So we moved back. I moved to the U.S. working for Molson Coors.
Yeah.
In 2001, when Andrew was a year and a half, my
Okay.
youngest.
Yeah.
We moved back in 2004, and then in 2005, when Matthew joined Ice Puppies at Meadowville, I got involved. So I was involved in hockey from when he was 5 till Andrew and John and I won the midget senior red.
1 year.
Championship.
Championship.
So he was 18, so like 12 years, I think.
There you go.
12 years involved in hockey, all the way from just helping pushing pucks to,
Yeah.
But where I'm going with this is that, you taught kids a lesson, and that could be applied to anybody in business, and in life. It's like, you have to focus on one thing. If there's accountability on things if you don't follow the rules of the game or follow the rules of business in a good way.
I found for me, the one thing that I was shocked at is the lack of, I don't know what the right word is, with parenting in hockey. For me, it was pretty clear. It was like, here's my philosophy. This
Right.
is what I'm going to do. And, I was pretty much a dog on a bone on that, whether it was
Right.
my son or even, John or whoever. And I just found that I did that. Like, there's a difference between disciplining somebody and punishing somebody. And
Right.
I think when I used to sit kids for shifts and periods on patterns of behavior, it was, in my opinion, a discipline, which means I'm doing this so I doesn't hope it happens again. Parents used to look at it like, well, you're punishing my son. I go, I'm not. You may be looking at that because you don't discipline. So I guess what I'm saying with this is the lack of discipline that parents, for me, didn't put on their children growing up was a massive conflict sometimes with hockey, because I would be clear on exactly how I would coach the team.
Right.
And they would go, that makes sense, because we always had a good team.
Right.
And then I would discipline a child for a shift or a
Right.
period. And they would go, why are you doing that? I'm going, well,
Right.
it says here, pattern of behavior,
Right.
if you don't want to do that. So
Right.
I was steadfast in my approach. And I think for me, I hope those kids that played for me look at it through that lens, not as the one that benched me or sat me.
Right. Not as a negative
But
way.
my dad as a dentist would say, you only need to brush the teeth you want to keep, Steve.
Right.
So don't brush any of them if you don't want to keep them. Just brush the ones you want to keep.
Right. Right.
So my attitude, right? Like,
It's true, man. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
you don't have to.
No, I
You don't
get
have to pass the puck.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
You just got to live with the consequences.
Right.
Why? Because that's my rules.
right.
And hopefully it was around teamwork, work ethic, hard. Like there was,
Right.
it wasn't grounded in selfishness for me. It was around trying to you're working with a group of 5 kids on the ice.
Yeah.
You're trying to work as a team, and you need, and it's life lessons that hopefully that they'll take and appreciate that. And if they do that down the road, for me, I'll smile and go, but I don't look back on things that I've done in hockey and my philosophy on it, because that's why I decided to coach hockey and do that, is because people would nobody left my team. Everyone wanted to play.
Right. And you were successful in
Everyone wants to play for the number one team.
No, I get that, but I mean, but the success was more about discipline, teaching, learning, consistency is what
Parents liked it, but they didn't.
I
They
get
go,
that.
Thank God Coach Steve's disciplining my son,
Right.
but it's okay. Like,
Yeah, but why did you bench him?
Exactly.
I get that. And we've all been through that, right? And it is, and I miss hockey. I miss the kids' reactions to how you coach them and seeing the end
It's
thing.
great development. Whether or not kids or parents agreed with my philosophy, your philosophy, you got to put your kids in environments
You do.
which are realistic in
Absolutely.
life, because you're going to have to deal with, you're going to get fired. Your boss is
Right.
going to be a pain in the ass.
Right. It's gonna happen.
My dad had the best saying. He's like, Andrew would be sitting there complaining, and my dad would lean over to him and he goes, just want to let you know, once you agree that life's not fair, everything else is a bonus. And he looked at him and he went,
Wow.
and then my dad had these powerful words going, once you agree or
Right.
understand that life's not fair, everything else in life will be a bonus.
There
And
you
it
go.
was one of those comments,
There you
and I
go.
went like, Grandpa's right. I go, of course he's right. It's
Right.
not fair.
Yeah.
It's not
So
fair.
accept it. Now move on.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
talk about it anymore.
Right.
Right.
That's the thing.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about. And that in turn raises these kids to a level of
You hope it does.
I
That's the
think
goal.
that's the goal. The goal,
do, right?
goal, right? The goal is to have these kids at a certain level where they're going to be like basic things, like when they shake someone's hand, they're looking in the eye, say, "Hey, how you doing?"
Respect.
Respect.
Absolutely.
Instead of you see kids say, looking at on the ground, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm up here, buddy.
Yeah.
Or how are you? Good. How are you? You know, things like that. Hockey, to me, and it doesn't matter what kind of sport it is, that level of discipline from a coach teaching these kids.
Structure, though. It's structure. It's like
That's all part
you
of
gotta
it.
wear
I
your
get that.
uniform. You got to dress up.
Right.
Like,
Right.
And
But consequences. We had kids where
nobody has consequences.
no, but
though.
but let's say the kids, we had, seasons where the kids have to walk in with a tie and a shirt and black pants. They don't. Where's your tie? Okay, you know what? You're going to sit for a first period. Things like that. But the next time they're going to think, okay, shit, you know what? I got to bring my tie. I got to wear my tie. So there's the accountability, the structure that needed.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I think the first time I ever sat a kid, it was so hard for me, and I was probably in minor Pee Wee. We had a good.
Wasn't
team.
my kid.
No. But I think it's difficult for a coach. But I think if a coach sets a philosophy
Right.
on exactly how they want the team to be run, and the parent and child join that team
Right.
going, this is, the coach has an obligation to follow through on the things that they said they would do.
Sure.
I remember walking to a dressing room and saying, I failed as a coach. I did not do what I was supposed to do.
Right.
And I apologize.
Right.
Which basically, I didn't bench that person. I didn't
Right.
sit that person. I didn't
Right.
do what I said. I said, I apologize. And I said, tomorrow's game, I'm going to make sure. And the kids probably went, holy shit, like Coach Steve just basically didn't rip us. He's basically pointing himself going, I allowed patterns of behavior to
Right.
continue
Right.
because I was hoping that they were going to do it.
Right. Right.
And as a coach, if you say one thing, you have to follow through. You just got to be consistent.
Right.
And then once you start disciplining kids the first time, the second time, the third time,
Yeah.
it becomes easier.
Right.
It becomes more harder emotionally because you feel sorry
Sure.
for the kid. But at the end of the day, you're doing exactly what you said you were going
Right.
to do.
Right.
Right?
No, exactly. You're right.
So I see a pattern of behavior here.
Oh boy.
I
Drinking?
do. No, I see a pattern in behavior in you.
What's that?
Whether it's in your personal life or in business, your pattern of behavior is to be the best that you can be, and in that sense, coach, mentor, help people
Yeah.
out. So at the end, what makes you happy is seeing people succeed, whether it be one thing or several things that you are
Right.
able to provide.
100%.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point.
You're able
yeah.
to say, you know what, if I look back on life, whether I help John out personally or as part of
Right.
our venture here in Forefathers,
anything.
in
Yeah.
life, and it's as simple as give me your thoughts or what do you think,
Right.
and I think I love that, and
Yeah.
it's no different, and I think we're all kind of the same, and it stems back to in life sometimes you got to take risks, and
It's
you know,
about. There's never a perfect answer.
No.
You got to keep driving. You got to
Right.
listen. Like, look, I always believe that the harder you got to push harder.
right.
In anything, the harder you push, the more mistakes you made, the more you learn. But the quicker that you can get to whatever you decide that you want to do. But just on your point around people that have that I've coached before. I remember Josh Liscombe said to me, and I hate celebrating. Fucking drives me crazy when kids celebrate. Like, if you just won, like, that's the first goal you've ever scored in your life. So no one celebrated on my team. If you did, you got benched. Josh Liscombe, who played AA for the Tigers, said to me when I saw him, he goes, Coach Steve, I don't celebrate. Like, he made a point
Yeah.
of coming and
He
saying, I
knew.
don't celebrate.
He knew.
And I said, well, I'm glad. Like, I hope you
Yeah.
realize
Right.
that may not be your philosophy, but for me, I go,
Yeah.
why are you celebrating?
Right.
Well, I think
Like, you just scored a goal. Congratulations. Get back and do it again.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Don't do the fucking
No,
whatever,
don't do the
bad.
selling. Don't do the
Because
selling.
I think there's a time and a place to celebrate.
Yeah, when you win the Stanley Cup. That's
Right.
it.
There's
Or
milestones.
when we won.
Right.
No, there's only one
Right.
time when you win the cup. That's it.
Hey,
Overtime goal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, tell me something, Stevie. The products that you have are an all plant based, so it's allergy friendly.
Yes.
The cannabis industry, it's great for health. Health issues. It helps it. You have you're gluten. You're
Celiac
you're
disease,
celiac
yeah.
disease. That had nothing to do with the business
No.
ventures you were in.
I got diagnosed with that after the fact, actually.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I did.
Because you and I, we would pound beers and eat
Yeah.
crappy foods
Yeah,
and
no,
shit.
I think it's like an autoimmune disease that as you get older, your immune system
Right.
weakens, and we're all going to die from something. And I think I'm blessed. I mean, getting celiac is probably a lot better than what
Oh my
most
God.
people. So
Well,
I actually feel better. It sucks because I can't eat certain products,
Right.
but at the end of the day,
right.
But
So it had nothing to do with
No,
you're
no,
being
nothing.
healthy or trying to come up
Zero.
with zero. Okay,
Nothing.
that's where I was trying to go at. I mean,
No, but I do believe in eating healthier and having more of a better quality of life,
right,
and eating, like exercising, working out, and
right,
so forth.
for sure.
So, but it was my business partner that said, "Trust me, these are the trends." And now you look at Health Canada, a quarter of their recommended diet is around plant-based foods. right? A quarter of what they say eat plant-based. So there's more about it's.
I know. I see what you're saying, but it's like I can't get into that. Maybe it's something that I should.
No, but I don't. I do because my wife cooks that way.
Right.
But I think the funny thing you'll find is that the more that you eat healthier, trust me, the better you feel.
Don't get me wrong. 100%, I believe you.
But you don't like it though. You're like,
I believe 100%.
I want that fucking McDonald's burger and fries.
Well, okay, so
Well, that's okay to cheat once in a while, right?
Once in a blue moon.
I hate that word cheat because when I had Abby Roman, who was a health fitness instructor, and she says, the cheat wise, try not to use the words a cheat. You can eat whatever you want, let's say.
I do eat whatever I want.
I get that.
do.
In moderation. And if you want to have, she says, don't have a day of just like going crazy, because what happens is your body's so used to what you've eaten all week. And all of a sudden you're going to jam it with a cheat day, let's say.
I agree. I'm not a big, my youngest son is a cheater. I go, I eat
because
fairly like this. Sometimes I drink too much and I'll stop drinking. Sometimes
that's fine. You can have.
But I have I'll eat.
Right.
I'm like this.
Right.
This is how I eat.
Let your body.
Kind of like the
what? Like the what? The motion in the ocean or what?
No. I think we moved on.
The whitewater rafting.
Whitewater rafting. Kind of like the whitewater
rafting.
rafting.
Oh my God! We got a story about that coming up.
The whitewater rafting.
Oh yeah, we got a story about the whitewater rafting.
Okay,
oh my God!
I got a question for you then. So you've worked on the food side.
Yeah.
You've worked on the food side with Castle Kitchen.
Yeah.
You're now on the cannabis side.
Yeah.
I've been reading and kind of doing some kind of research on it. Do you see the two gelling? So food-based products that potentially have food and beverage that potentially have, cannabis in it.
Well, they do now. So beverages have cannabis
Legalized?
in them. Yeah, beverages have cannabis in them. Mm-hmm. You're allowed 10 milligrams per product of THC, unmaxed on CBD.
What kind of drinks though? Like teas?
No, like beverages. Like you can go to
a cold drink.
Totally. Well, you can freeze. Like they Molson Coors hooked up with Hexo to create Trust Beverage, and they have a variety of different beverages.
Wow.
The challenging part for me is that the restrictions around advertising products, mm-hmm. you are limited. Right. The only place to buy a cannabis beverage is through a dispensary.
Right. You
can't buy them at an on-premise. That's where brands are built. They're built on bar, premise, and so forth. Right. So that's the biggest thing. The other thing is the price point. You're talking $5-6 for a cannabis THC infused beverage, and you're going like, well, I'm just going to go have a beer for $2.
Right.
The pricing needs to come down significantly from where it is today. You need to get it into more places. You need to be able to advertise. But the stigma around cannabis, when you say cannabis, most people think Cheech and Chong, right?
Right.
You say cannabis, you're like getting high,
right.
Bob Marley,
right.
weed.
Right.
So the stigma around cannabis, and I think that the Health Canada regulations need to change,
right.
where we can educate people more around it. Mm-hmm. So it's a choice. Now it's legal. You can smoke whatever you want and do whatever you want.
Right.
But the stigma that people have around cannabis is going to take some time before. So to your point on food, yes, you can buy edibles. There's companies like Valens that I'm working with that are doing a lot of different things in baked goods and products and so forth. Mm-hmm. But the new consumer to cannabis isn't going to shop at a dispensary because they look at that as a drugstore.
Right.
They want to buy it at Whole Foods. They want to buy it at Loblaws, right? So the regulations need to change over time to allow for products that are made with CBD, which are non-intoxifying, to be able to be purchased, because those are more health and wellness benefits. So I see things evolving over time, and you're going to start seeing a lot of the large licensed producers advocating Health Canada for changing these regulations. And the biggest part of it is because they're not driving enough revenue.
Right.
Like these companies have invested millions of dollars based on Health Canada regulations to create these licensed produced with security. Like the amount of money and energy that you need to spend into getting a license without even actually selling anything is astronomical.
Yep. Then
you're launching in a brand new industry, right? I launched a company in the existing industry. that's been around for. Imagine launching a company in a brand new industry, regulated by Health Canada, right? Brand new, which we know is a challenge, and then having the provincial governments choose how product gets distributed, with setting up an infrastructure on how to wholesale and inventory.
So
we should be high-fiving everybody
Right.
to where we are
I was
today.
gonna say, I was gonna
But the challenge is that when you go out and raise capital to say, I'm going to generate this much revenue, you get money based on,
Right.
on this.
Right.
No one is hitting. That's why all these larger LPs, they're not making money.
No.
You look at all the large, they're not making any money because the
Right.
expectations are too high.
Right.
So,
Well, we can go on and on and on about the ins and outs of this. And has COVID affected your type of business? I'm going to say, maybe you can talk about more of the cannabis industry, but more
the cannabis business, it has been affected for sure. I think people are consuming more cannabis because they're at home more, because they're stressed, they can't sleep.
Right.
They're not allowed to shop and go into stores, so it's all store pickup. 12% of the people in Ontario that are purchasing cannabis are buying it online. So it's not like Amazon, where we know a lot of businesses are thriving because of COVID, where people are allowed to buy it online.
Right.
But the cannabis business, due to the issue with COVID, is nowhere near where it could be, because you've got these 600 stores in Ontario that can't open. You can't interact with somebody. You can't talk to them about terpene profiles and explain it to them.
Right.
All you're doing is getting people that are currently using cannabis today to buy it. But you're not, in my opinion, getting any new consumers to cannabis, because it's that interaction with that bud tender and that education.
Right.
So you're like, forget it. I'm not going to try it.
Right.
And you maybe try it because a friend of yours gives you something.
Right. Right.
But on the flip side,
yeah.
on Castle Kitchen or now Health and Food, like rocket ship, like unbelievable.
I was going to say that's probably
Food Plus
skyrocketing.
is like, COVID has been a godsend to a lot of small businesses in the food industry back in March, and Castle saw that,
in the
starting
food
in
product
March.
in the food product industry.
It was like it's so humbly proud of what Castle has done over this, but honestly, it was nothing to do with what the products that we had. It was just right time, right place.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we started our company in the pandemic, and we weren't worried at all about that, because the fact is that we understood that people are going to be cooking at home more. They're going to be buying online more. So that gave us the opportunity to capitalize on that.
Yeah, but look, retailers where the money is. Like, retailers where you drive volume. I mean, I think 60% of Tide's volume in the U.S. is done through Walmart.
60% of Tide.
60% of Tide's volume is done in the Israel. So retail stores in the U.S., like, they drive volume.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you're a small, unique brand, you won't go to traditional grocery because the listing fees in the program. Amazon gives you an opportunity where they list everything.
Right.
No, and now companies go to Amazon to pay for search words, where back in the days they used to go to Google. Right. You'd search Google, you'd like, vegan pancakes or hot sauce. Now consumers, and I'm one of them, every time I'm thinking about a product, I go to Amazon. I search Amazon. I don't search Google. Anything. Golf net, like putting green, anything that I buy, I go to Amazon, and that's me. Right. More and more people are using Amazon as a search engine, not just a place to buy versus Google.
I agree.
And then they go, okay, let me see if I can go buy it at these other retail locations for cheaper. But the comments and the insight that you get on Amazon is unbelievable. Right. Right.
And it is great advice, obviously for something that we should, obviously we need to think about as well as a business on our product line. What's your go-to meal? What do you like to eat?
Oh, depends. Depends on the time of the year.
Just what on the top of your head, what do you
Chicken and
eat?
rice is probably my go-to meal. Simple. That's it.
Okay.
Holland.
No. We are actually, speaking of Holland, we are in the background behind us is downtown, somewhere downtown in Holland, because this guy right here.
Amsterdam?
I think it's Amsterdam. So I think this is the red light district. I don't know.
No.
This is where you can get your hookers and your hash and your weed and all that sort of stuff. that
pancakes.
and pancakes, right? But we're trying to get a theme going. So all my guests will choose where they want to be. I was trying to find a kitchen that we'd find in Holland,
had
but
one.
we did. But
Didn't work.
this whole, you know what?
Rogers. We blame Rogers. We
You
give
know,
credit.
it's unbelievable. Our internet went down, and that's why we're recording this. But our podcast tonight, we're our beverage. So we're at the podcast location, virtual around the world tonight. We are in Holland for this guy right here,
Ik heb mooie bloemen.
and we've actually consumed a lot of wine, different varieties of wine.
Yeah.
But tonight we're featuring a wine that's I do enjoy this
Not
wine.
from Holland.
No, but it's a J Lore. I did feature this before on my show before, and it is a J Lore. It's a Cab Sav, and you can definitely get this at the LCBO. They run for like $26-27 per bottle. But honestly, this is one of my go-to wines. Thank you, Stevie, for bringing this bottle down for us. It was great. Also, the third section of a podcast is about the soundtrack tonight, and you are a big '80s fan. You're a
you
big
asked
music
me
fan.
that.
I know, but you're a music fan to begin with.
I love
Like,
music.
You love music, so you know you're obviously
Everything other than country, which I know my buddy Johnny loves.
you know what, and
It's
I
a mood thing for me.
it is it definitely is a
all
mood
genres.
thing. It is a
I like all genres.
I don't. I other than country, I love everything.
and I think that's what. And so I asked my guests, "What do you want to hear tonight?" We're gonna do a live soundtrack after the show, and you said we're gonna do '80s. So I'm gonna play a live. The soundtrack for tonight's podcast is gonna be all '80s, whether it's like, house freestyle, old school Gino beats, or even English beat. Old, like Safety Dance, all those ones that we're gonna bring it all together because I know this guy likes to hear it, and I'm gonna have that up on my Mixcloud for the audio side, and so you
And
guys
you know why
can.
the '80s though
Why?
is because I was born in '67,
Yeah.
and then 20 years after '67 is '87,
Right.
right? And then between 18
Your math is
and-
good.
Let's see, for say 1 and 1 is 2. Is because I look back at that time of like when I was 17, 18
Okay.
to 21.
Yeah.
You can't say the best years of your life because you're lying, but it was probably the first, 4 to 5 years of your life,
Right.
which was like, wow, like you went through puberty, you kind of felt who you were, you started partying, and that
Right.
music sets you right,
Right.
for what you decided to do down
Right.
the road. Everyone has their own base as far
No,
as
of course, man.
we
of
all
course.
do, right? Our kids probably do as well. Like, what was when you started, legal age? Like, what was your vibe? What was the genre of music? And it was
When that music plays, it takes you back.
totally.
Oh my
Even
God,
to
you
the-
know
right?
exactly
even
where I
now,
was.
exactly.
Even now,
right?
we'll
So-
play music at our house.
So that
and,
makes me the reason I asked you said about '80s because
Yeah.
that like I wanted to look back to something that made me happy and
Yeah.
and excited, especially going through all this COVID. So I was like,
Right.
you know what, '80s is like I like '90s and whatever.
You like
but-
everything. You like 70s rock.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's all
But
great,
it was like,
man.
you know
It's all
what?
great.
Going back to that and going, wow, that was pretty cool, right?
Right.
No worries in life, right? just
Well, I
have
remember.
fun and
I remember
party.
the parties at your place, and we DJ. I DJ your parties. One of the best parties at your house is, I tell you, man. And I gotta say that one of the best parties at this guy's house. We were there, and we're partying, and I've got the music blasting. Everyone's dancing and just diving the pool and just having a great time with music. All of a sudden,
Were you there?
it just everything shuts off like the Rogers did. Like everything
At
shuts
11
off.
o'clock.
At 11 o'clock, the power shuts off. So this guy's like, "What the f is going on here?"
Was it just like the internet?
It was just like the internet today.
Okay.
He went downstairs.
worse.
No, but you went downstairs, checked the power, came
Yeah,
back
I
up.
checked all the breakers.
Right, and guess what happened?
Well, I had a flashlight, so I remember it. I do remember it. And
We all remember this,
went
man.
down. I'm on the phone with Hydro, and then they said go downstairs, check the breakers. Like all the breakers are fine, and I was like, this is bizarre. So they said go out by the box, like the Hydro box.
Hydro meter.
All right. So I walk outside, and they said, what does the meter say? And I said, it's gone. They said what? They said the round thing. I said, yeah, it's gone. They went, stay away from that. It's live. Somebody actually unclipped the
clamp,
bracket
the
that
clamp,
goes
yeah.
around, pulled out.
Wow.
That's
Pulled
a party,
out the
though,
pulled out the
Hey, you
guys,
never had a party
guys,
until
right.
somebody pulled the meter out.
Somebody pulled the meter out of the wall.
Pulled the thing out,
Yeah.
and the entire power in the house gone.
Could you believe that?
Shut
that?
down a party.
That was a party, though.
And the party at the shutdown. So I've never ever had that. I've blown fuses and shit.
Please.
Cheers, buddy.
Please.
This is this.
Come on.
The first for everything. First for everything. That was incredible.
And your music was good. It wasn't shit, eh?
Is my music ever fucking?
No, it's always good.
Come on, man.
I'm
Really?
just busting you. It's like you won't be sleeping tonight.
You know what? I'm gonna, oh my god! I could change my genre. I'm gonna play some country. And I'm gonna play some.
I'll
jazz.
never forget that. I was like,
Right, and then this guy here, you know, where is he at? He is on his chair by the bar, chair dancing.
No, I wasn't. No.
Dude, you are the master chair dancer. Okay,
Wow.
Ask your wife Anna. She'd say, Anna, what's your husband's
Because
best
I can't
position?
dance. That's why I'm a shit dancer.
Well, you're like
I don't
7.5
have your
feet
moves.
tall, for
I don't
Christ's
have your
sake, man. You know,
moves, right?
Listen, you got moves like Jagger. Trust me,
No,
you got
I
moves.
don't. I don't.
Give us a cheer move right
You
now.
want-
There it is. Look at that.
Do
Look
it, do
at
it.
that. Look at that.
I
That's
don't
it.
dance. I can't
Oh,
dance.
my
I
God,
like
you can't-
sitting. No, you're DJing at my place back in the day.
I get it, man. I
sit
get
there,
it.
We're having wine.
I know that, but you know what? There are when Anna gets you on the dance floor and you're dancing.
I can't dance. I can
My
golf. I can't.
hang on,
dance.
I
Drop
dropped
the
the
mic,
mic
please.
because that's what happens when this guy's up on the dance floor. That means that I've done my job.
That's it.
And even Johnny, when he's this guy,
You don't dance.
he doesn't dance, but when he does, watch out. He's on there, man. He's on fire.
Yeah.
Diamond Girl, Stevie.
80s. You playing them?
I'll be playing him.
Hey.
Hit the floor.
I remember those days. Oh my
love
God,
it
remember
here,
those
eh?
days. I remember those days.
Hey.
And I love playing music for you guys. I love playing music generally, and I'll be playing that after this set. And so I just want to also, we also vacation well together. We have a great time with family. We'll go and rent a cottage, and particularly we rented a cottage in Mont Tremblant. Great spot. That was a fantastic spot.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful. It was in the side of
Bit
the
of a
mountain.
walk all the way down to the beach, though.
You know what though? It doesn't matter when you have a like a lot of these in your system. It just you don't feel it. Just go ahead and do it. Actually, we got used to it after a couple of
Yeah,
days.
but the best thing is because we all talk about heritage, food,
Mm-hmm.
our passion. I'll never forget us walking out of Costco.
Oh, how much shit we had?
When we got there, we walked out of Costco.
Yeah.
We bought strip loins of steak,
Oh, yeah.
sausages,
Oh,
beverages.
Oh yeah.
And it was just
Like we're eating for a month.
It was and we were like, oh my god.
How's the pizzas you
how are we
guys
gonna- how are we
bought?
gonna
Remember the
con-
pizzas you
yeah,
bought?
Yeah. How are we gonna
You bought
consume
fucking
all
how many
this?
pizzas?
Yeah, but look
you
how many
bought?
kids we had at our place.
Yeah, but how many pizzas you have left over? It was like
I-
lasagna
it was,
pizza thick.
It was a thick crust. I know.
Like this. Dave, you bought 12 pizzas. Yeah, I know. We ate 4.
No, but to go to John's point, we bought so much food, and
What we're all about.
it's all about the food, the family,
and the
like,
whitewater rafting.
If anyone has been whitewater rafting, I'm going to tell you, I've been whitewater rafting in British Columbia and in Whistler, and it was nothing compared to what we went through. And I actually have the video queued up, and I'm just going to give you a little synopsis of what happened. So we drove to this place. We're like, let's go whitewater rafting. Forget. Let's just go. How bad can it be? We're going to go on. There was the sport level, there was the kiddie level. Introductory, then it was a sport level, then it was extreme.
Yeah.
So we're that, you know what? Whatever, guys, we're going to go to the sport level one. No problem, we're going to go. We get there. The instructor, what does he say? Make sure you write your name on your hand or your wrist or on your forearm. And we're like, well, yeah, they're all kids like laughing. Why? He goes, no, I'm serious. Write it on there. I'm like, why? He goes, it's to identify the body when they pull you out of the water. And the kids were like, they're just looking like, what the hell is this guy talking
really?
about?
Yeah.
Really? And we're like, don't worry. The guys, then he says, okay, don't worry. Don't get scared about it. So we go on this whitewater rafting, and it's like, okay, it's great. I mean, the instructor's in the back of the boat. He's, showing us, telling us different techniques on left and right and back and forward, whatever it may be. And it was a good upper body workout, but it's a lot of fun. Kids kids around us. We had everyone around us. It was all just guys. The girls did not join us because, thank God. After I show you, if I show you this video, which I'm going to cue up in a second here, was ridiculous. And never forget, you were going down a bit of the.
I fell off first.
You fell off, and I grabbed this guy by the nuts.
You pushed me.
Yeah, I push him,
He's
and get out of here. I grab him by the coleones, and I pull him up on the boat again. And but you felt it. You're like, I'm underwater. I'm like, I was helpless.
It freaked you out, but then I think the thing you think about when you watch the video, which I did, all I kept thinking about, in 5 or 10 seconds, I'm going to be fine. Because most people that fall out on a rapid, for the most part, expect you guys.
Jesus Christ.
Right? But it's a panic, though. Like,
It's
you know
a
what? Because
panic.
you feel like you're lost, even though you have a life jacket on.
Right.
You just feel like.
Right.
Johnny
was with me I'm going to show you this video, guys. I'm going to put this video on right now. I want you to watch this video, and I want you to
leave the boat. Leave the boat.
I wanted to shoot that mofo. I mean, it was.
No, he was smart. Thank God he told you to leave the boat.
Did you see what happened afterwards when we got on the bus?
No.
He's like, guys, there's a thing that says get a 20% tip. Blah, blah.
Oh no!
I'm like, are you kidding me? This guy almost killed us.
No. But if he didn't tell you to leave the boat, honestly, Dave.
No, everybody did. Everybody did.
Fucking gonna
Your
leave.
son was the only one in the boat, and you're gonna see on this video. I'm gonna play this video of the whitewater rafting. We went down from Mont Tremblant and we ended up at the mouth of the Ottawa River. But this series of and it's here's what pisses me off. Okay, and I'm a conspiracy type of guy. John's the same way.
He was a shit guy, though. That guy was shit.
Forget the guy. The guy, I want to stab him with the. I want to stab him with the oar. I want to shove that so far up his ass. Anyways, you're gonna see the video, and it happened to be a video that someone purposely took this video of us at this particular location. It's called the washing machine. Okay, this.
But why would they take that video to put it on their website to say, "Hey, you guys want to come whitewater rafting? Yeah. Look how much fun it is. You almost die.
Right?
Oh, you almost die."
Is this their marketing video? Because I'm telling you, people would leave after this. So here is the video right now of the whitewater rafting, and I want you to see this, and you're going to see me, John. You're going to see. Listen, you're just going to watch what happens here.
You fucking kidding
Are you?
me?
Did everybody see that video?
Unbelievable.
It doesn't look that bad, but to be in the water, to experience that, like, so when.
Oh, I experienced when I fell out for that 10 seconds,
right,
which was like the first part,
right,
and I thought that was a slight traumatic. Sure. I can't imagine what you guys went through for 20 seconds, right? Maybe probably felt like 6 minutes.
No,
30
it
seconds.
must have been-
no, but for a
it's less than
longer
that.
period. No, but it was the fear of I have no control
Right.
over what's
Right.
going on. I have no idea when this is going to end. I'm going to
Right.
die.
Yeah.
No, it definitely.
My last gasp of air.
Right.
So the funny part was now it's not funny then. I'm like, what are you guys worried about?
big
What's the
deal?
problem? Then I see the video. I was like, oh my god.
Fuck,
I
I
did
don't
my
know. I don't know.
cross. I apologize. No, I did
You
because
did.
I was like, what's the fucking problem? You guys fell out. Then I see the video. I'm like, you guys like you. You're
It's like me,
flying
everybody
around
was like
a-
crazy, and then-
no, but you from the beginning were like a rag doll. You were like
well,
flopping.
It was a washing machine.
It was a wash machine.
Oh.
So when it went
That's what you
into
paid for, though.
right, I mean, I had my clothes clean.
So
I
what are
had-
you complaining about?
So you're in the water. You can see yourself go in, and I can see myself spinning around, and I'm
a washing
looking.
machine.
I'm looking up as the sky and looking down. All I can remember hearing,
You think you were dying?
no, but I said to myself, 5 more seconds,
And
I
I'm
was going to
done,
give
eh?
up.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: what really scared the shit out of me was the fact that the guy said, "Listen, you need to sit yourself like you're in a lazy boy chair."
Oh, remember he said that? Yeah.
I
Did you do
couldn't.
that?
I can't do that. Are you kidding me? I was frantically trying to find my way up around this place. I'm gonna sit there, and go. Where's my popcorn?
Let me just
Let
relax.
let me grab my beer.
I'm just gonna
I'm
relax.
grab my beer, and I'm just gonna
Yeah,
sit
it's
down
okay.
and relax.
It's okay.
Like I'm on a lazy.
Are
boy.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
I was trying to get out of the water and like jump out of the sky, and then all of a sudden I see the blue boat. Like I'm in the water, I
Feel
see
good?
it, and I just jumped up, and you saw the back of the boat. I jumped, I grabbed it, and I got the guy's attention, and he pulls me in, and then I see Johnny there, but I didn't see my kids. We're looking for our kids,
both of us.
but Johnny was like,
Oh, for sure.
Johnny and I were lying on the rocks, and I said,
That guy, our instructor, honestly, he was horrible.
He was an idiot.
Because when we
"I was an
turned,
idiot." Dylan Hoare was an idiot and horrible. Jesus Christ.
no, because when he kept saying, "Remember when we're turning this, front does this,
Right.
back does
Left,
this."
left.
I knew we were turning, and there was no mention out of his voice around front does this, back does
No.
this. And
No,
then
no,
as soon
no.
as we turn, I go, "We're done.
It was, but
We're done."
we're done, and I'm lying on the rocks, and Johnny was there, and I'm like,
You're-
I grab on Johnny, I'm like, we gotta get out of here. And Johnny's like, what? I said,
taking a helicopter.
I told the guy, I said,
He has a helicopter.
I said, guys, take us out of here. Get us out the F right now. I said, get a helicopter, get those UFOs, get those helicopters in, get them in, let's take us out.
Marco.
And then we find our boys, thank God. And then the guy goes, if you want to leave, you have to swim across off the river and go 2 miles up the thing. I'm like, how much more do we have of this? We're gonna die again. He goes, no, this was the worst of it. I said, you have there's like 50 people watching us. You guys planned this.
And then remember
shit.
the last
You
person
planned
that
it.
went down was like,
Oh yeah. Is it on top of the? You went on
can
top of
they
the water.
like this.
And we're looking. I'm like, are
We
you
were the
kidding me?
chosen ones.
They made us for that video. They said these guys here, that
Well, they better
that
not show
friggin'
that
Italian,
video.
those are
They're trying to
friggin'
attract
Italian.
people to
Yeah,
come.
those friggin' Italians. Watch, we're gonna give them a show. That they're gonna go make a left, go down here, boom, done.
Boom.
Steven, but this is all about the family side of this podcast, because we talk about the business, we talk about the health, and we talk about the family side. We talk about how we're all together as one, and being. We have a ton of jokes, a ton of laughs, a ton of fun, and we'll continue to have this whole family relationship of us. And we are going to get into.
But part of it's
We're
a
gonna
choice,
get.
though,
I know,
right?
but
It's a
we're
choice.
gonna get into those more of those fun situations like that whitewater rafting. And you said it is a choice, but
It is a choice.
But we choose to be with each other because
100%.
we know that we are. We love each other as friends, and obviously you see each other without any masks on. Okay, we are well aware of what's going on outside. We're well aware of what's happening here. We have our own. This is our own little bubble here. Okay. And this is how we operate. And I'm sorry, but this is how it's going to be. So for those haters out there, I get it. We are aware of what's going on, but it is something that we are comfortable with being here in the studio. The COVID test is how many bottles of wine we can drink, and that's the COVID test. If we can do 4 bottles of wine, which we did, then we are COVID free.
We're immune.
We're immune because alcohol kills everything. But anyways, listen, I want to thank Stevie for being here tonight, Stevie. It's been fantastic. It always has been fun having you.
We could talk forever.
Oh my God, it's just crazy, right? So, and John, I mean, like, we're all close. I appreciate you coming down and asking us some great questions with Stevie, being part of the show. We were frantically trying to get the studio, trying to look okay, because I spent time on getting everything ready. We get it going. We're like down to the last second. We go for it, and the friggin' Rogers internet goes down. It's like dry, and I was ready to take the screen. I was gonna smash it.
No,
and then
really?
Yeah, and then go upstairs. No,
No, come on.
I'm not
You're
angry.
exaggerating.
Dave.
Yeah, but then this guy teaches you. He's
Dave.
like, you know what?
Oh, it's-
Shit's gonna happen, man.
That's life.
Shit's gonna happen,
If I
right?
told you the history of Castle when we started to where they were when I was involved, and then where they are today, there's no way you would ever plan out exactly what happened.
Right.
Ever. But the one thing is, if you stay curious and humble and continue to look at things, you
Right.
will figure stuff out.
Right.
You will.
Absolutely, and that's in life.
In anything.
In life, right? So
Don't let for friendships to happen. You got to go make them.
right.
Right. In
I get
anything
it.
In life.
No,
So-
of course, man. Tonight's podcast is brought to you by Forefathers Food Co. and sponsored by Castle Kitchens. So we're going to give away the We're going to give away our the prize pack, but unfortunately, it's recorded, so we're not going to give away the prize pack because we have nobody that we can see right now because the internet is a pile of crap. So we're going to give that away. We're going to give that to somebody through DM, and we're going to announce that later on in the show afterwards. After I do my live set, I'll record everything and we'll get everything sorted out. So I apologize that we couldn't do this live. It is awesome that we can. It's fun. It's these cool cats here, man. They are rock solid, great friends. Great families. I love them. We're all together. We're close. So other than that, we are going to conclude tonight's podcast and what's in store for next week. I've got a great guest next week, which is Karen Cho. She has a small restaurant in Oakville called Far East Tacos, and she is
Great tacos.
unbelievable. If I can get there all the time, I can. It'd be amazing. She's our guest next week. She's going to come into the studio and talk about her business. Just growing up and what's really cool about her business. She was involved in the food in the CNE, having a booth in the CNE in the food section, which is fantastic. So a lot of stuff to talk about with her. She's going to give away a great prize as well. Our times are Wednesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Normally they're going to be live. Sometimes they're pre-recorded. But catch us on Spotify and Google Podcast. Subscribe and listen to our shows. Like I said, our YouTube channel is now up and running. Please subscribe. Get tons of your friends to go on there and see our past shows. We're going to be, we're not as Joe Rogan's level yet, but pretty soon.
You will be.
We will be. I love the guy. I love his podcast. They are super long, but they pull you in, right? So it depends on what you want to hear. He's got a great banter on some things, and that's why I love listening to him. Thanks, Stevie J, for taking the time, and Johnny, thanks for coming down as my co-host tonight of Forefathers. Cheers, guys. Salute.
Salute.
Okay, and I want to just to say thank you very much for tuning in. I have to make sure that I have to drink it after the cheers because that is bad luck if you don't.
Okay.
So other than that, guys, I want to thank everybody that will that tunes in tonight to listen, and please be sure to check us out, the Forefathers Food Network. We are everywhere. We're going to keep it very simple. The podcast on Spotify and Google Podcast and our YouTube channel. 3 main items that you can see and watch and listen. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. You can creep us anywhere. Follow us anywhere you want, at a grocery store. I don't care where you want to follow us, but we'll be around. Obviously, the cooking side of things is a big thing for us, and recipes, and we are going to get more involved in our some guests that are in the culinary side of things. I'm not saying you're not, but you like to eat. You just like to eat.
I'm not.
So
Let's
he
be
admits
crystal
it.
clear, I'm not.
Yeah.
He got weed.
Get my wife. Get my wife Anna here. She'll talk about how she actually takes the products that we actually make, and
She does it all
She's
then.
like the Nelson.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm not. That's
Right.
not me. I don't like cooking.
Yeah, no. Nelson is our other partner. And he's been on my show and our sidekick.
I
And
like eating and
he's
drinking.
awesome. And I'm the same way.
I don't like cooking at all.
John loves cooking. He's an awesome cook.
Good.
Okay.
Love it.
We need a cook.
Right. And we're gonna be on. We're gonna have shows where we're gonna actually be in the kitchen, and I'll
I'll be cleaning.
He'll be clean. I'm gonna make fun of everybody, and they're gonna throw shit at me, and he's gonna clean. We're all gonna eat and drink, and have a
I'll
great
eat,
time.
yeah.
It's a lot of fun. That's what it's all about. This is an open concept of podcasting. Is a channel for information on free speech, however you want to hear. It's all about that. And guys, I thank you very much, and we'll see you guys
Godspeed.
soon. Godspeed.
Godspeed. Yeah.
And until next time.
Till next time, we'll see you guys.
Boom.
Everybody from Holland,
Boom.
from the wines, the
Cheers.
80s live music set afterwards
Make 'em more
by yours
blooming.
truly. Man up, bitch. And cheers, buddy.
Salud.
Love you guys. Love you. Thanks very
Cheers.
much.